MTN Nigeria and the banking sector. In South Africa, the JSE index added 0.15%, even as official data showed the country's unemployment rate for the fourth quarter of 2019 remained unchanged at 29.1%. According to Statistics South Africa, there were 6.726 million people without jobs in the 3 months to December 31 from 6.734 million people in the prior quarter. The EGX 30 in Egypt advanced 0.42%, while the market in Kenya closed negative on Monday. And most major Gulf stock markets lost ground today due to weak corporate earnings. In the UAE, Dubai's index slipped the most by 0.83%, while Abu Dhabi's index was down 0.39%. Saudi Arabia's benchmark index declined 0.6%, pulled lower by a 2.6% decline in Al Rajhi Bank after the lender missed expectations for full-year profit. And shares in Europe traded higher in the morning as investors continue to monitor the spread of the coronavirus and its effect on the global economy. Well, Ulrich will tell us more. Hello, Ulrich. Good afternoon. Well, markets in Europe are looking upwards following the trend in Asia and on Wall Street. The DAX in Frankfurt, where you are, was hovering close to record territory. That was in the morning. Now, have investors put the fear over the fallout from the coronavirus behind them?
Well, it seems for the moment, at least, they have. People are saying that the coronavirus, yes, in China, it's a major problem, but production, for example, in companies can at some point catch up, perhaps on production lost. And in the Europe so far, or in North America, the effects not that major when you take away effects for individual industries like travel industry, airlines, where there are effects you can't catch up on a flight lost. That's revenue down the tubes. But all in all, the confidence level that coronavirus is not going to be as devastating economically, at least, is starting to set in with investors. Now, they are saying also that the central banks are playing a major role in the easing of worries and the rise of confidence, because there's certain, and certainly in China this is the case, that central banks would be stepping in order to make the pain as low as possible. Also playing a role, we hear, are those company reports, especially from the United States, that have been rolling in. And a vast majority of them in the United States have exceeded expectations. And so that's also driving the markets here.
Well, talking about the corporate news there, Daimler again, a big story today. The CEO, Ola Kalinos, presented 2019 results and presented his outlook for this year, promising higher profits, for example. But at the same time, he's warning about a lower dividend. How are shareholders digesting that?
Well, at the start, they were absolutely gleeful at the news. Why? It was a bit of a mystery. I talked to people on the trading floor here about it. They couldn't explain that either. Possibly, when there's bad news, like profit going down 2019 by 2/3, by about 66%, and the dividend being slashed from €3.20 to €3.25 to just 90 cents. That's a major pain for the shareholders. Well, digested and forgotten, but not quite so, because now, as we speak, the share has fallen into the minus zone, so the investors take a little less confident, partly because Ola Källenius started speaking in the late morning in a press conference. I think investors not quite so impressed. He does promise, yes, higher profits this year than in the last year, but I think investors are still missing a major outline of a strategy. He does promise to fix the problem, though, and cost savings he will initiate, among other things, by reducing complexity of production. But I think that's just too little from the CEO to prevent investors from remaining skeptical on Daimler.
Well, still on corporate earnings there, travel giant TUI jumping by over 10% on the London Stock Exchange after presenting fresh results ahead of the AGM today. TUI sounds a bit Do you have more to tell us?
Yes, the January was the best booking month in history of the country for TUI, and here in Germany we say TUI, and that has investors really pricking up their ears. It's had a rough ride, this company. It's taken a huge slide since 2018, and it's only started recovering in 2019, and it's continuing its recovery now with this news, rising up more than 10%, around 12% at the moment, and Fritz Jussen sounding quite optimistic that the new financial year will be a good year. Albeit there are problems at TUI as well. It relies on Boeing 737 MAX. They're not there. They have to rent planes to fill the void, and that's costing a lot of money. But all in all, investors very pleased what they're hearing from this very large travel company.
Well, I guess corporate news will continue to drive the market, at least for a moment we have now. Thank you for your time, Ulrich. Enjoy the rest of the day.